Okay, so let me go through the answers for worksheet 4.5. So for first question, it says define a mixture. So the definition for mixture can actually be found on page 59 of your textbook. Okay, so if you go there, you'll see that it defines the mixture is made out of two or more substances that are not chemically combined. So do take note of all these keywords over here. Next one, question 2. I think this is the one where it's a little bit more complex, where people are a bit unsure. Okay, now do take note of the first column first. Okay, now let's look at maybe part A. Part A, how many types of patterns? Okay, I want to use the word patterns, you see. So if I look at part A, I see that there's only one pattern here, okay, which is these two circles side by side, and it's white circles. So because both of them are the same thing, so this is actually an element. And because the whole thing is only made of one element, this this diagram is considered an element. Right? If it's only made of one element, so it's purely this element, we consider it as an element. Now let's look at part B. Part B, you can see that okay, there's one pattern like this circle with the four shaded circles like this. Okay. Now, do you realize that this one is made of two different type of atoms? Right? When there are two different type of atoms joined together, we consider this as a compound. As there's only one compound, this purely this compound, so we consider this as a compound. Now, let's look at part C. Part C, we realize, okay, there's this two white circle here. They are both the same thing, so we consider this as an element. There's also another pattern, which is a circle with four shaded circles around it. Can you see it is two different type of atoms chemically combined together, so we consider it as a compound. So this substance C over here, is made out of one element and one compound. Because it is not purely one element, because it is not purely one compound, we consider this a mixture. Right? We consider this a mixture. Now, so this is actually a mixture of one element and one compound. Right? Because the element and the compound are mixed together. Let's look at this one over here, substance D. Okay, once again, we have these two white circles. They are both the same thing. So this is an element. This is one, the first pattern that we observe. There's another pattern over here. Okay, three circles. Okay, three shaded circles. These three shaded circles are the same thing. So this is also an element. Now, when I have two different types of elements, okay, two different types of elements, it's not purely the first type or purely the second type. Once again, we will consider this as a mixture. Right? This is actually a mixture of two different elements. So take note of this. Okay. How about the rest? Okay, let's look at this one over here, part E. If you look at E, you will observe that there are two different types of pattern. First one is a small circle with four shaded circle like this. It's made of two different types of atoms chemically combined together. So this is a compound. The next one, you have what we call the Mickey Mouse. Okay, so a bigger circle but two shaded. So these two are different types. Okay, let's look at the second one. One big circle combined with another smaller circle. Two different type of atoms combined together. We call it a compound. Now, once again, substance E is not purely the first one or purely the second one. Okay, you see that both of them are put together. So we consider this as a mixture. Mixture of two different compounds. Now let's look at this one over here. Whoa, this one here actually what I see is I see three different patterns. First one, two small circles shaded. So this one we consider as, can you see this both are the same thing? So this is an element. Next one, what do we see? We see two white circles combined together. The two white circles are the same thing. So this is an element. Now the next one we see is a one white circle combined with three smaller black circles. You see these are two different types of atoms combined together. So this one we consider as a compound. Now this substance F consists of three different things and they are put together. Okay, you can realize they're not joined together. Okay, they're all not joined together. So they are really just put together, but they are not chemically combined. So this one once again we'll consider it as a mixture. This is a mixture of two different elements and one compound. Okay, last one we're going to look at G. Now G is an interesting one. Okay, remember in the previous worksheet we mentioned. So this plus and minus, whenever you see it, we know that these are made of ions. Okay, now this ion thingy is actually a compound. Okay, we're going to cover a little bit more later on. So this is actually made of one compound consisting of two different types of ions. Okay, I don't want to confuse everybody here. So for this one, we'll leave it till maybe the next few chapters later. Then we will once again go into it. But for when you see the plus and minus, we consider them as ions, and ions actually together they will form this compound over here. We will go through this at a later time. So that's for question 1 and question 2.